here then. Here we are then for the 6th and nearly the end round of the Super Formula Championship in the International Sim Racing League, and of all the tracks on this game, we're at Bathurst. Oh boy, this promises to be a good one. You don't want to miss this one. This is probably going to be a race filled with incidents. But here we are. The drivers will probably complain about the choice of circuit, but at the end of the day, none of it really matters, because I can't just force them to get on with it. So, do it. You have to get on with it. You don't really get a choice in the matter. Say in the matter, because, you know, I said so. And Wizard is here, our safety car driver. Obviously, we never saw the safety car in the Nürburgring, but we did indeed. It's likely that we're going to see a safety car in this one. Nike's just rebooting. That is fine by me. So this Nike gets in and ready to rumble. We are ready to go with a race that promises to be a thriller. Who knows what's going to happen? Wheel issues, that's fine. Right, so who honestly knows what is about to go down in this race? Sweet, look. It's a race more than mere meters away from the barrier. It's going to be a race where we get to see the drivers push to the limit in an attempt not to hit the wall. And, going to be honest, this promises to be a good one. Like I said, there is a high chance of a safety car, which obviously would put the safety car as a feature in the last race of the Nürburgring. However, they managed to keep it clean and there was no incidents that required a safety car, so we never saw the introduction of one. However, and that's a big however, we are now in Bathurst, a track that is almost similar to Monaco in many ways. It's very difficult to see because the cars seem to be all very jittery for some reason, and that's quite annoying. But oh well, it's just one of those things we've got to live with these days. Hunty will not be with us in his place. We shall have Mikey. I believe he's the only sub that I know of that is showing up for these races as penalties are probably going to be handed out quite frequently in this one. So with us today at the moment we have Ruti, who currently leads the way, fastest time at the moment of 43.3. Raiden in the pits, his time is a 43.6, not too far. M3 guy doesn't seem too far away in his initial run of practice. Ahead of Walter, who currently sits 4th. Mikey, who has picked up a penalty. Emperor Botox is still 6 seconds back, and then we just have Gad Gaming, Raiden Lad, Racete, who needs a result here. I believe if Racete gets outscored by Raiden by just 3 points, he is officially out of title contention, and it will all go down between Raiden and Wittmann. But with Raiden having a massive advantage, Wittmann needs to score some big points here over Raiden if Wittmann has any chance of fighting for this championship here and in the next race to make sure that that title fight goes down to the wire. It's possible for Racete to do a similar thing, but like I said, if Raiden outscores him by 3 points, then the dream is over for Racete. With 2 races left, the championship is out of his reach. So he's going to desperately want, and he's only beaten his teammate on one event this season, and that was the very first one where Raiden lost the win on regards to a 5-second time penalty for a collision with Gemini at the time in Goodwood. Cast your minds back to that. It feels like ages ago. Right and left, the Yorkshire T team quietly getting on with the business and 3rd in the team's championship. Wasn't the best showing for the Yorkshire T team, but here they are to try and hopefully bring some more results home again. We've even got the likes of Gad Gaming and Mikey. Obviously Red Bull come off the bat of a fantastic result in the Nürburgring, finally bringing home some solid points, which they've been lying at the back of the championship for pretty much all season, and here they are, also to bring them some great points now in the Nürburgring, elevating them off the bottom spot of the championship. So now it's all down to whether they can keep this run going. Whether they will make it continue. That is the question in mind. So, here we go then. This could be an incredible race, this one, and you do not want to miss this. This could be a cracker. We've got 12 drivers with us today. Out of the possible 14, I believe the only ones we're missing is Foxy and another one. And Gemini. We're missing Foxy and Gemini. I don't think they'll be turning up, so that's your lot, it would seem, for the Super Formula today. We will do the stuck check because that is now returning, I've decided. We'll do the stuck check at Q2 and then qualifying straight after. So let's just inform them of that. So that therefore gives the drivers a bit of time to get to Group 3 tracks. It's not an easy one, but not too much time of course, but some of these have just come out of the Group 3 race. From Lobby A, the likes of Nike Bonner, Racer Tay, Raiden, Vitmanji have all just come out of a Group 3 race. Other drivers have also done a Group 3 race, but theirs finished a lot earlier as it started earlier, whereas some of the Group 3 Lobby A's have just finished and are jumping straight into the Super Formula race. Unfortunately, that's just the way the timings work, and it's a bit of an issue for them. So Fran and Nike Donner not too far away in the championship, but Fran has the edge. Can Nike Donner turn the tides? Again, it's in the case of Yorksteed, it's Walter who's ahead with Buttocks. I'm sure now he's going to want to elevate himself off the bottom. I remember he's only 1 point behind his teammate, who currently sits second to last in the Drivers' Championship. So with his teammate not really showing up for races, I'm sure Buttocks will be desperate to try and score the points needed to elevate him out of flat bottom position and not pick up the wooden spoon for the season's championship. All in all, things are looking pretty decent for him on this road down the mountain. That's the really tricky part of this circuit, is that mountain bit at the top where it gets all twisty and you are never more than inches away from the barriers. Then a massive blast down the straight. As far as overtaking here, it's not going to be an easy thing to do. There are a couple of overtaking spots, sure, but will the drivers be able to go for it? Well, as far as overtaking, this corner here that Emperor Buttocks is going into, there could be one if you get the run, but it's not like that's a guaranteed spot. There are no guaranteed spots. The final corner here as well is closed. You could try and get the overtake done there, or even into the first corner, but it's going to be tricky to do so. I think the main spot we'll see, at least an attempt for an overtake, will probably be the second corner. Out of here, get the slipstream up and then down, try and get to the inside into turn 2. It's looking possible. If you rise up and down the hill, the elevation change here is something almost unrivaled across the world. It is incredible, and that first corner promises to be cracking, as we have what looks to be 12 drivers all charging through that first corner at full might to see who will come out on top. Qualifying should be an interesting contest as well. As I say, you're very close to the barriers, so how much do the drivers want to push on that qualifying? Track position, I get the feeling is going to be very important on this one. There's going to be a lot of emphasis on strategy as well to try and pull your way up the field. All in all, I think this is probably one of the hardest tracks to overtake on the calendar. So qualifying is going to be crucial, but how badly do you want to push for that? Because if you can get in barriers, then that's not the quickest way around a lap. And I'm sure we'll see a couple of drivers going down that fate over the course of today's race and qualifying session. In fact, Ruti is looking pretty strong at the moment out there, and a 42.1 at the fastest time. That's a really impressive. Possibly be a contender to look out for. In 3 guys, well, he's not looking too far off. In fact, I don't know how much Raiden's pushing, but he's less than a tenth to Raiden. So could this be a curveball race that throws some of the top drivers sort of all over the order, all over the mix, and possibly the best opportunity for some of the lower down drivers to bang in a fantastic result. Mike Bonner, he's on what appears to be an outlap at the moment. We've got Racer charging through then. So at the end of his lap, let's see how he gets final part of the lap. Accelerating away, CSX Racer Tay. Is he quicker or is he in the pits? He is in the pits. A very, very tricky pit lane here. And he's actually crashed on the pit entry there. We just caught that, if you could catch that at all. But he was starting to spin on the pit entry. Ryden lad down in 8th. Emperor Buttocks, he's flying his way around up the hill. Some fantastic camera angles. I reckon we'll see ourselves picking up for this one then. We've got Gad Gaming, who's serving the wildlife. Vitman G refusing to go out onto the track. And Wizard, our safety car driver, is on standby just in case we need one of them in today's race. And you wouldn't be branded as stupid for placing money on a safety car being called out today. It is highly likely that we will see one here before we jet off to 2 Japanese races in Autopolis and Suzuka. Gad Gaming gets moving, but G gets moving then. And in a short bit of minutes, we shall get the stuck check and the subsequent qualifying session underway. Raiden, is he on a time? No, or is he? I think he's on an outlap at the moment. So we'll just watch Raiden's opening gambit to a flying lap, or how much of a flying lap he wants to push. He is on soft tyres. We can expect this to be pretty quick lap time as he comes out the first corner. Look tidy through there. I mean, that first corner, it's going to be crucial to get the exit out of. To launch yourself on the straight across the line. He is purpled by the tiniest of margins in Sector 1, which is just a corner. There is Walter stopped on track and putting everyone off, as Raiden flies his way around there. Up the hill, very tricky braking zone there, turn 3. Sliding around a bit, getting all out of shape, and here he comes yet again. Through this mountain section that when you get it right is incredibly high speed as well. Raiden looks to be flat. You don't want to hit the walls that go off the track there. And he is flat the whole way around there. He's not up on route his time though. And then the downhill section. Very much not flat, a lot of braking downhill, and the balance of the car gets thrown off. Expect to see a couple of cars go sideways through there, possibly in qualifying once they're pushing. It's always a chance of a bit of a mistake as you launch yourself now onto this back straight. Again, another long straight, and crucial the slipstream, but very narrow. The track is probably one of the more narrower ones, so going too wide is probably as much as you can, so don't expect to see any free wide action. And Raiden, rather surprisingly, is not up on route this time. Night Bonner doesn't improve upon route this time, so route is genuinely looking pretty quick this weekend. We'll see what Raiden's final time is, but it does appear route is looking strong. Bitman G will be back, I think, going to sort something out across the line. Raiden only goes second, so Ruti is probably a key contender to keep an eye out for. He is looking pretty quick, and that's because Raiden thinks he's got more in the tank. I wouldn't count Ruti out. So I think people are just, I think it's more on my end that there's just internet issues. He's just causing issues. Walter and Night Bonner have left. Racer Tay and Raiden are also saying the same. Racer Tay trying to pick up the slipstream off Gad Gaming here. A bad shout. Following another car in qualifying is not going to be ideal because traffic is going to be nightmarish as we come through this final couple of corners. To see whether Racer Tay can get any closer to that time that is set by Ruti, which is really looking like the benchmark time. Night Bonner, he returns. So Racer Tay, it's looking like the benchmark lap time. And it doesn't improve, it does improve by a 10, but only a 45. Racer Tay looking a good 3 seconds off the pace there. Is he struggling to get on the lap time here, especially compared to some of those top drivers? Ruti, like we keep saying, is probably going to be a driver to look out for. We've got Vitman back, and now Racer Tay looks like he's actually going to do some practice overtaking on Gad, and he gets through. Gad slows down on the wall. It's going to be really a nightmare to see what's actually going on with his leg. Yeah, we might do that. it looks like we might be getting someone else to host the lobby today. Nobody's jumping to be volunteers. To volunteer. Everyone's volunteering Wizard, so it could be him then. Drivers are still trying to get around the lap anyway. They're still mostly in the lobby though. I mean, they don't seem to want to jump out and get ready. There we go, we've got acceptance. Wizard is agreeing to doing the hosting duties for tonight's race, so we will see a mass exodus from this one to Wizard's lobby, which will be the exact same. So, I'm going to back out, which is going to end it for absolutely everyone. Going to end this to everyone, but in the interest of, you know, being able to race, we'll do it this way. It's just better. You know, if it's not lagging, you can actually see what's going on. So there we go. Let's just wait till Wizard gives an announcement that it's over. He's obviously going to have to go for all the settings. Right now we can look at a blank screen. Sound like fun, guys? I know, right? I just love looking at a blank screen. Blank screens are always fun. There's just nothing there. It just focuses the mind, and now I'm just rambling on. There it is. Back, and once everyone's in, I'll let them know to just get straight on with the qualifying, or the stuck check and then the qualifier, because we might as well do that at this point. Yes, Super Formula livery. Just yeah, we go. Livery done. Oof. We've just leaked that to the entire world, but okay. Right. I am no longer host. We'll see if this has solved any of the issues. It looks a bit better. I mean, there's one car going around and it's working now, so we've solved the issue. Huzzah! And they're all just sat in the pits at the moment waiting to get ready, but it looks to be working, which is always great news. Should have 12 drivers with us, which means we've got 14 out of 16 people, because there's also me and the safety car, We're just waiting on them to ready up, and we should be good to go for the stud check, and then the subsequent qualifying, which will follow. We are nearly coming to the end of this season. It's been quite the season. It's been an exciting one. It's had some great races. As usual with this league, it's just something we couldn't expect, but racing is always good fun on this one. However, it's looking more and more likely that Raiden will go on to defend his Season 1 championship. Fran is just driving incredibly slowly coming out of turn 2. Oh, he's also killed his rear tyres off. Just going to have a quick flick through the settings actually, just to make sure everything's fine. Okay, yeah. Yep, everything looked good. Everything good on that, just checking. And we're just waiting now on Rooty to ready up, and then we should be good to go. Yep, everything is fine on the settings front. Stud check, I think. Is everyone in and ready to go? Is everyone in and ready to go? No. Rooty is not in. We need Rooty in. Oh, okay, just ignore me completely, don't worry about it. Oh well, it looks like we're going with a stud check anyway. This basically, if you're not aware, is just a chance for the drivers to make sure they're moving off the grid and a bit of time to practice the first corner or whatever. So that doesn't really matter. But I thought usually it's just a chance to see if they can actually navigate their way off the grid, make sure on the half on pole position. Raiden and Racetay are actually behind the safety car, which obviously won't have any qualifying. The way they do the grids on this track as well is particularly unique in the sense that there isn't actually a difference between, I think has everyone gotten away well? I think they have, although there's a bit of chaos with safety car in between. Walter, I think everyone got away well. Everyone looks to have gotten away well. So there we go. Yeah, it's a bit unique, the grid on this one. As opposed to having first and then second a bit behind, but on the other side of the track, and then third a bit behind again, and then fourth a bit behind. The rows, well, don't have a first and second front and pack, if you know what I mean. They're actually first and second right next to each other, which makes things interesting. And then a third and fourth right next to each other, which makes things interesting. Oh, for God's sake, no! Why? No! 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 Why? Why did you do this to me?